Good morning. Before I get to the usual marketing today, I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm back in the mood to post some cringe memes. So if you see those, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, if you enjoy fantasy romance, give the summary of my novel, The Lord and Lady of Darkness, a peek. It is down below. The ebook and paperback link is on my profile, and you can also read it 100% free if you have Kindle Unlimited. It follows the story of the amazing warrior poet Zanaya on her journey to escape the darkness and find her true calling of becoming the official bard of the kingdom. And she falls in love along the way and also joins companions and helps save the kingdom. So, I wanted to just ramble a little bit more about the darkness because in the book, it's explained like here and there. There's no like major info dumps or anything. You know what I mean? I give the reader like little bits and pieces, and the people that exist in the world of Vagrith, which is the name I named the world. That's only mentioned once in the book, but yeah, it's in there. So, but the darkness is essentially something that just exists. It's more or less like gravity, where it just exists and affects everything except the immortal. The immortal are immune to it, although even the immortal have their true callings, but if they do not follow them, they won't be taken by the darkness because that's how I made it. So I thought that was a cool little thing. But yeah, so with the darkness, if you disobey or don't follow your true calling, but it is for a good reason, more like essentially a good reason deemed by the darkness, more or less, then you will still go to the afterlife. But if you do it for a nefarious reason, then you become a dammer, which they are the evil creature I created for my novel. And they can, like they have gray skin and like a red, yellow eyes, or was it yellow eyes? I don't but because they're only described once in the book, because obviously you don't need to keep describing them. But then they have a red circle on their head, and that is what they project the darkness through. But yeah, so essentially they roam the lands, and if they catch somebody and bring them to the brink of death, they have to do that. They can't just kill them. Then they perform a ritual to shroud them in the darkness, and then they will swap places, and the dammer will then get to go to the afterlife, and the other person will take the place of them and not get to go to the afterlife. So, that's how that works. And then, essentially, uh, they more or less know that the afterlife exists, and it 100% exists in the novel. So, but the darkness is something people learn more about throughout it and whatnot. And I didn't leave it. It's not like a big mystery, but there's like, you know what I mean. It's not like fully 100% explained because I didn't want to, you know what I mean. If you start rambling in the book, then that's kind of cringy, unless you're making something like the Silmarillion, I guess. But yeah, so that's the basics of it. Uh, I suppose if anybody has questions, I could answer them, and that's how it goes. And there are other various things, like towards the beginning when Braxton and Zanaya first put on the relationship rings to signify they're together. Um, they like not pass out, but they essentially fall asleep, and it's supposed to be for like 10 seconds. But they were drunk at the time because that's how they convinced themselves to put the rings on, because they know even though they already really love each other and whatnot, they could still not be meant to be together according to the darkness. So, but and I don't want to ramble too much longer. But yeah, essentially they put them on, and then they submit their relationship to darkness, and then they came back because they were meant to be together according to the darkness. But and then obviously there's little hints in there where it could change, like in the future, because your true calling could change whenever, or it could change and you're not meant to be with the person. And then also with Lilith, since her and Braxton were together, but she's an elf, so she's immortal, then she was not affected by the darkness. So when they put the rings on, it did not. Well, that's mentioned in the book, so they were not bound together. So Braxton would not be taken by the darkness. So, although I guess it also could be wasn't gone into, but it could also be considered that Lilith and Braxton were meant to be together, even though she was abusive. At least for the time being until he met Zenaya. So, you know what I mean? Because if you think about it like that, that prevented Delilah from swooping in and using her siren powers on him and whatnot. So it's just you know what I mean? There's a lot of different branches and whatnot, which is also why one of the reasons there are tree branches on my cover. So I'll stop yapping. It's almost been 6 minutes, but yeah, much love to you all.